Itai no, donde que? Denise, thank you for the super. Yo, Vox, would you ever consider doing a chill drinking stream? I would like to do that. Any embarrassing drunk stories? Love your streams, even though I can never focus on drawing while listening. Lamau, love you. Mwah. Any embarrassing drunk stories? I remember being out in town once, and my friends and I, we went to McDonald's, and one of my friends, he hates pickles, and we just made a whole thing about going to McDonald's while we were drunk, and getting a burger with a pickle in it and then throwing the pickle at him. That's a very mild drunk story. I remember one that was really funny was that I had a friend who drank way too much, and he was just sort of like completely out of it. But we went out and we got some fresh air, and he was like kind of starting to sober up. But in the meantime, I'd gone to McDonald's to go and grab him a bottle of water, and when I came back, I gave him the bottle of water, and he'd sobered up enough that he grabbed the bottle of water and squeezed it, and it went all over me. And so I was sopping wet after having spent all that time going to get him some water, which was really funny. A lot of my other drunk stories are kind of terrifying. That was the okay. You guys are gonna have to let me know if you're okay for me to tell this story. There was the time that on New Year's Eve, I oh dear. There was a time on New Year's Eve that I decimated my friend's plumbing with let's say an iceberg. I may hold off on the details because I think that story's pretty gross, but thank you. I did, I'm sorry. I did. I took a giant shit and I destroyed my friend's toilet. It was really funny. It's I don't know. It was okay, I guess I have to tell it now. So what happened? So I was out with some friends. We were out on the town. We were having a few drinks on New Year's Eve, and then at the end of it, we came back to my friend's apartment, and it was me and a few friends, and we put Emperor's New Groove on the TV, and at that point I'd had way more to drink than everybody else, and I just I lay back and I just completely passed out. I passed out on my friend's couch and I just fell asleep for about 3.5 hours. But the thing about being drunk is that when you pass out, you don't realize that you've passed out. You just kind of lie down and then you open your eyes again and then suddenly you're awake, right? And this happened. I fell asleep while Emperor's New Groove was on, and I woke up and I was so disoriented I didn't even realize that the movie was over. So I just sort of thought like, movie's over. And then it hit me and I realized I gotta take a shit. And so I got up and I said, hey buddy, can I go use your bathroom? He was like, yeah, of course. And I went off and I sat down and I zoned out for, I think, still being quite drunk, I zoned out for about 45 minutes, I think. I just looking at my phone because it was the new year, you know, there was a lot going on. I was keeping up with Twitter and all that kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden I realized, like, oh shit, you know, my ass is starting to get numb. I've been sat here for ages, and I sort of stood up. I turned around and I had a look, and before me I saw the iceberg that sank the Titanic. I mean, it was like the most repulsive, but at the same time the most impressive dump I've ever seen in my life. It was quite something. It was really quite something. I was scared. I was scared of what I'd managed to produce. You know, it was really something. And so after that, I got up and I was like, and I tried to flush it down, and sadly, it did not cooperate. It didn't cooperate, and you know, the toilet became clogged. And so I went back into the living room, and by that point I had been on the toilet for such a long time that my friends had all hid in the living room, and they were trying to jump out and surprise me or make me think that they'd all left by the time I got back. It was some kind of a prank. But the thing is, I took too long, or perhaps I was too quick. I was much too quick for them to realize, right? So I just opened the door, and before they could all jump out and surprise me, or before I could have the thought process that they had left, I just said, "Mate, I've clogged your toilet." And thankfully we got it all sorted out, and it passed into legend as the legendary New Year's poop that blocked my friend's toilet. Look at me! Look at me! Look at me with my expensive suit and my little necklace and all of this fancy music, and here I am telling the story about how I decimated my friend's plumbing. What did I eat? I can't remember. I can't remember what I had. It's probably a lot. Probably had like. I remember there being this noodle joint there where we lived that's had like the portion sizes that were just huge. So it might have been that. But yes, that is the Vox Akuma poop story. So yes, even beautiful, handsome demons have moments where they need to take horrific poops. So please don't feel embarrassed if this ever happens to you, okay? Good night, honey.